What's going on, guys? Adam Snyder here, back with another shocking stimulus update. Today I'm going to bring you a second stimulus check update and stimulus package negotiation report for Wednesday, October 21st. Before I get into the second stimulus check update and the next stimulus package update, I first want to address a story that is coming out from the Washington Post. This is a very shocking report. I just want to bring it to you first, and then I will dive into the second stimulus check update. First, the Washington Post is reporting that Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell is actually telling President Trump not to accept a stimulus plan or stimulus package from Nancy Pelosi and the Democrats before the election. He is saying to wait until after the election, and then we can accept a stimulus package. And the reason for this, the way that the Washington Post is reporting it, they are saying that Mitch McConnell stated that if a stimulus package is to go through, it will actually slow down the Supreme Court confirmation process within the Senate. So if President Trump really wants Amy Coney Barrett in the Supreme Court, this needs to happen before the election, and in order to do this, he should not proceed with stimulus negotiations. Another report from a different outlet is reporting that this report is indicating that Mitch McConnell doesn't want a stimulus package to arrive at the Senate before the election due to the fact that if it doesn't pass through the Senate, it would actually make Senate Republicans look extremely bad. And right now, with just 13 days left before the election, Mitch McConnell does not want to hurt the chances of some of his Senate Republicans, because there are some that are in very tight races. And within the Senate right now, many people are worried that Democrats will take over the majority lead within the Senate right after the election. So that's what we know right now, and this is not good news. This is not good news either way, but it is shocking, and just considering that with how many Americans are currently out of work, how many Americans are living paycheck to paycheck or haven't even received a paycheck for months, there are many Americans that are currently in need of this relief. So if this is true, it's shocking, and I just can't believe it. Now, with that out of the way, let's address what is going on with stimulus negotiations between Nancy Pelosi and Steven Mnuchin as of right now. Well, last night was supposed to be the 48-hour deadline that Nancy Pelosi set. However, she has backtracked and said that it was not a deadline, and it was just a deadline or a day where the terms should be agreed upon. We should lay out our plans, lay out our terms, and that was supposed to be last night. Well, it didn't happen, but that doesn't mean that the overall deal is dead. So right now, again, with only 13 days left before the election, many people believe that getting a stimulus deal done before then would be practically impossible. Nancy Pelosi stated yesterday that even if a stimulus deal isn't ready before the election, it doesn't mean that her and Steve Mnuchin would stop trying and continue working for the American people. It's the American people that need help, and her and Steve Mnuchin will continue to do their job to find some type of bipartisan agreement where both parties will be happy. So that is what's going on right now. Now, we do have some good news from Mark Meadows, who's the White House Chief of Staff. Mark Meadows told CNBC yesterday in an interview that Nancy Pelosi and Steve Mnuchin will continue to see progress. Towards an overall stimulus package. They are not done. They will not stop working towards this. They will continue to negotiate. He also stated that Nancy Pelosi and Steve Mnuchin have started working with committee chairs so that they can get the language right. Nancy Pelosi says she is a legislator, but she's also stated that the Trump administration are not legislators. President Trump himself is not a legislator. Steve Mnuchin and Mark Meadows are not legislators. So they do not know how this really works. They do not know what should be in these bills. So both parties are now turning to their committee chairs so that they can get the language right. Since right now we know that the dollar amount is not the actual issue. Mark Meadows also went on to state that the two sides are not only apart by just a few dollars and some language, they are apart by a few $100 billion. Well, we know that President Trump has said this multiple times, that he actually wants a stimulus package larger than what Nancy Pelosi is offering. He wants something higher than $2.2 trillion. So I don't believe that the money is the real issue. It is the language. If it was the money, then we would not see the both parties sending off some of their work to committee chairs to work on the language. The language is usually the last thing that gets worked on. My guess is right now is we are seeing them work on this because we're getting very close to some type of agreement. Now, Mark Meadows also stated that President Trump mentioned that if they need to go higher with PPP funding, then get it done. If we need to add larger stimulus checks for adults and children, then get it done. Right now, it's just get the stimulus package done before the election. That's currently what President Trump is telling Mark Meadows. Just get it done. I want anything, I want everything, get it done. Now, I don't want you to think that Mark Meadows is saying, or everything that Mark Meadows is saying is the true feelings from President Trump and the Trump administration. Stephen Mnuchin is the lead negotiator, not Mark Meadows. Nancy Pelosi does not want to negotiate with Mark Meadows. Mark Meadows' job is just to make President Trump look good throughout this entire process. That's his job. His job is not to negotiate with Nancy Pelosi. So whatever you want to take from what he says, that's up to you. For me, I like hearing these updates from him. I like hearing what he has to say. Sometimes he gives us some really good updates. Other times he kind of backtracks, which he kind of did yesterday afternoon. In the morning, he was saying things were going really well. And then in the afternoon, things weren't going so well. However, Nancy Pelosi said, we're making progress. So, who knows what to believe. Now, the biggest takeaway from what I got from the Mark Meadows interview was that the two sides are having committee chairs exchange legislative text to determine the overall language of the bill. This is really good news, and this would not be happening if the two sides were not close enough to work out the language at this time. If they were not close and the majority of the bill wasn't already agreed upon, they would not send off the work to committee chairs to work on the language. So this is really good news. One report is also speculating that this is happening to try to speed up the legislative process. Nancy Pelosi already stated that it could take several days after the bill has been agreed upon verbally to get the bill actually written, because the House and the Senate cannot vote on something that is not a bill. It's just an idea. It's written down on sticky notes, or however Nancy Pelosi and Steve Mnuchin have done it. Right now, it needs to be put into a bill format. And Nancy Pelosi even stated that once the bill is written, it needs to be publicly available for the public to view it for 72 hours before anyone can vote on it. So by writing the bill now, if there's an agreement, let's say today, tomorrow, maybe Friday, this would actually cut down the amount of time, because the 72 hours starts once it's agreed upon. There's a bill. Here it is. Here you go. And they show us the bill, and now 72 hours starts. Well, that's great. But we don't want to wait, a few days and then start the clock. We want it now. So this could actually speed up the entire process, which again is more great news. Now, this is good news moving forward. As of right now, I feel that we will see some type of stimulus package agreed upon probably within the next week. I think we will have an agreement before the election. As far as seeing the funds start flowing throughout the economy and seeing checks to you and I don't think that's going to happen before the election. My personal guesstimate or estimate is that we will see checks maybe the days following the election, but most likely the following week. So that's just my take. Now, Mark Meadows is optimistic that a deal will be struck before this weekend. He usually doesn't just come out and say, oh, I think we're going to have it. This is more Steve Mnuchin's deal where, yeah, we're going to come to an agreement this week. We're going to have an agreement, next weekend by Friday. That's not Mark Meadows. Mark Meadows is usually very pessimistic. Well, he's very optimistic now, saying a deal should be struck, and he feels a deal will be struck and agreed upon before the weekend. Well, this will all come down to how much progress Nancy Pelosi and Steve Mnuchin see today. They will have a conversation today on the phone, I think at 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, so we will see what happens there. But this, along with what happens tomorrow, my guess is we will see progress today, we will see progress tomorrow, and most likely we will see some type of agreement on Friday or possibly this weekend. So that is all really good news. I'm glad we're seeing some progress. I'm getting tired of seeing so many people struggling to put food on the table, keep a roof over their head, and just keep the stuff they've worked so hard for over their entire lives. So I'm just glad we're getting some type of relief, and we're getting it now. We cannot wait any longer. Now, in other stimulus-related news, Mitch McConnell and the Senate will again vote on a bill later on today. I'm not going to go into much detail here, but this bill will be roughly $500 billion, and it will be for more targeted stimulus, unemployment, things like that. This will have a handful of items including in it. However, and I mentioned this on the channel, I'm not going to go over all these things again because I do not anticipate this bill to pass the Senate. If the bill yesterday on the Paycheck Protection Program, that didn't pass, the $250 billion didn't pass through the Senate, there is no way that this bill for $500 billion for targeted stimulus, $300 per week in unemployment benefits and other things, there's no way this is going to pass. So I'm not even going to spend any more time on that. But it is going to happen today. I just want to be clear. It will happen. You will probably see information on it. You'll see that the bill was denied. But the reason they're only putting this out there is so that Republicans they know this is not going to pass. Democrats are going to reject this. But now Republicans can say, go back to their home districts and tell their constituents, we tried to pass a stimulus package, but Democrats rejected it. They blocked it. So it's on them. We tried. It was all because of them. You're not getting your money. You're not getting your unemployment. You're not getting this and that. But honestly, it's just a political game. Democrats are playing this political game. So are Republicans. Now, in COVID-related news, Illinois will begin suspending indoor dining at bars and restaurants. And this will begin on Friday. They will start suspending indoor dining in the following counties: in DuPage County, Kane County, Kankakee County, and Will County. Those 4 counties will see no indoor dining at bars and restaurants beginning this Friday. Also in India, residents are facing a dual issue with the pandemic as well as high levels of pollution that routinely last until spring. Experts are saying there could be many more deaths because of this. They also stated that India did do a month-long lockdown. However, it saw very little success. The death rate in the United States is continuing to drop. Even though new case counts continue to go up and down with each passing day, the death rate is really what we want to look at. If doctors and hospitals and clinics can get people in and take them and have them taken care of, then we shouldn't have a whole lot to worry about. So that's more good news. And in New Mexico, a new report is saying that roughly 30,000 people statewide in New Mexico received a notification saying that their COVID test came back negative. However, this turned out to be a technical glitch. Many people were reporting that they only got the test that same day and thought it's a little soon to see results. Well, they were right. This was a glitch, and their tests haven't been proven to be negative and haven't been proven to be positive yet either. So this is just something we need to watch out for. These technical glitches, having a robocall saying you were negative, or having some type of notification through email or text message saying you were negative, is probably not the best way to go. We should probably get an actual person on the phone telling us you were negative or you're positive. You should quarantine for the next 14 days or so. So this is your second stimulus check update and stimulus package update report for Wednesday, October 21st. Make sure you do me a favor if you enjoyed today's video. Smash that thumbs up button, subscribe so I can keep you updated, and I'll see you guys on the next one.